Thanks to everybody for coming. I'm going to do my best John Gasparoni impersonation. Welcome, Roman. Tom, you want to start us off?
Hi, Roman. Coming up, you got a game against a home game against a tough Western Conference team in between two Eastern Conference games. That kind of put some added, you want to win every game, but is there kind of a little extra coming in on this one?
Not for me. For me, like you said, I want to win every game. Doesn't matter it's East or West. And we will face a team that is maybe struggling a little bit this season. But so are we at some point. And so it's a home game, and we have to be ready and show us from our best side to get 3 points.
You guys have a 2-game losing streak, which you haven't had a whole lot of over time. What's kind of the feeling right now about how the last 2 games have gone?
I think you can feel the tension a little bit in training, like that, as it should be, that maybe some players smell a chance to play, to get into the first 11. And I think that's healthy, that's good. And so we definitely feel that a little bit, but we know what we can do, what we stand for, and how we can play at home.
Roman, after losing 2 consecutive games, is the mindset and preparation for a game like this different, or you guys do the same thing?
No, it's not different. Like I said, we know what we can do. We know how we can play, especially at home, and we prepare like every other game. We had maybe the post-game analysis was a little bit more direct, I would say, and but other than that, we prepare the same way.
Roman, preparing the same way, do you see anything that Seattle offers that is different from a team that you've played so far this season, or is it looking back to how they performed last year as to their tendencies?
I think with Nuhu out, he was definitely a strong guy, a fast guy who played really good the last time we played against them in Seattle. No, in Seattle, not the last time. But is it a weakness? I don't know. It's up to us. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter who's on the other side of the field. We have to bring our performance to be successful and to win games.
How would you characterize what you've seen from the back line in some of their transitions in training this week and against FC Cincinnati? Do you feel the team is learning and progressing to the point where you're comfortable going into this matchup?
Yeah, we had a different lineup, different back line as well. So all together with the ball, I was happy. We try and we try to play with the ball instead of just playing long balls, which is always an option. And so we are trying to improve in that factor as well. And in the last games, I think if you look at LA, we played a really good first half and also very confident with the ball. So I have no doubt that we are gonna be clean and make good decisions in the back line with the ball.
I'm always curious, when you have the ball and you're looking to progress the ball, what do you look for when making the decision versus to play it out of the back or to send it long for an aerial duel, for instance?
So my go-to is I look first when I get the ball up high. How's Klaus, Sam? Then I go a row back. The number 10s, if they are in between the lines, maybe I can play a chip ball on them. Then 6s and center backs. So and outside backs, of course. So that's how I go, and I know that I don't have to stress anything with the ball. I don't have to force anything. I think it's also important that we don't force guys into stuff that they are not feeling comfortable with at the moment. For me, I just play what I see, to be honest. I look at the field, I look at scan the field. Maybe I look before I receive the ball, where is a chance to play, where can I overplay someone, and that's basically how I do it.
Brendan?
Hi, Roman. You mentioned after the LA game that maybe you would want to see a little more out of the fellas in training. What would constitute like a really strong training session from your point of view, and have you seen that this week?
Yeah, the trainings Wednesdays, Tuesday and Wednesday were hard, so it was really good. I think also with good intensity. I wanted to see a little bit more like duels, like just show yourself, use your body right, like don't be afraid that you're gonna hurt someone on the field, like it's a contact sport, and that's what I told the guys. That's what we discussed after the games, that we have to become a little bit stronger into the duels, especially if they have a transition chance. So maybe make a smart foul to stop that transition, and we get organized back behind the wall, put the ball, and I liked it that week.
Do you get a sense you're getting a good response from your teammates, where maybe you have those discussions, or are they eager to go out and say, yeah, let me show you what I can do?
Yeah, but it's not just because I say it, it's also because we show them in the video, like we show them different scenarios. When I think of one thing that we showed is, I think Jose against Cincinnati, he got elbowed, in the midfield, and the referee didn't whistle. Jose stood up and went again, because he heard there's no foul. He has to come back in the game. And then on the other side, how we are, sometimes we just we went out of the way of the guys, to let them pass through because we don't want to make a foul. And these are the situations that we showed the players, and we can also stand in the way and just let the guy run into you, and maybe it's not a foul. So we have to be a little bit more smarter in the duels, and like I said, a little bit stronger.
Corey, you may have already alluded to this in one of your previous answers, but you see everything in that in front of you. What's the main area of improvement you want to see from this club at this point in the season?
I think just how we pass the ball to each other. A pass is not only a pass, it shows your teammate what he has to do next. If you play a pass to just let the guy bounce the pass, that is maybe a pass that is not as hard, or like with the perfect time and strength. Like if you play a pass, sometimes I play a pass in front of Tim, so that gives him the sign, okay, I go with the ball. I have to go up the field with the ball. That says a lot. That's communication too, and I think that's a thing that we can improve. Not just like, here, get the ball and look whatever you want to do. Like, guide them into good spaces, and yeah, most of the time maybe play the right foot, play it into the right foot, and that's one thing I think we can improve. Yeah.
Daniel?
I'm just curious, in the interest of improving the team, there's a lot of ways you can do that, but June is just about a week and a half away. Are you involved, if any, in conversations on perhaps bringing in some players to improve the team?
No, I tried my best with Royce. I'm still trying my best with Royce, but other than that, completely trust in the whole club and the people, the coach, Lutz, and whoever is responsible for that.
Jen, and then finish up with Tom.
Hey, Roman. So it's not June yet. It's still May. Thank you, Roman, for speaking out on Mental Health Awareness Month. I appreciate you as a mother of 4 soccer players who sometimes feel stressed out about their performances. Do you do any kind of mental skills resets in your game when you find like things aren't going the way you expected, or how do you reset your play?
I think when I remember right, the first thing that when he asked me, what do you want to achieve, I said, like, I want to be focused and concentrated over 90 minutes. Then he said, it's not possible. Like, you can't, no person can focus or be concentrated for 90 minutes plus and not once like thinking about something else. So that's just something that I learned, that, or he told me, and he gave me an advice, like, maybe if the ball is away or out, just sometimes look around in the stadium, look at something else than just the ball and the green, the grass. So just look around and refresh your your vision for a few seconds. And I think that's something I do. That's something I still do. And obviously, what's important for a keeper is how you react after a mistake or a pass that is not wasn't good. I'm just trying to be like, or I feel right now with my experience that I just give it another try. You know, I just try the same ball again the next time, the next chance I have, because I know that I can do it. And it's something, self-belief and confidence is also very important.
You're a big believer in you play how you practice. So has it been encouraging this week?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, look, nobody is perfect. I make a lot of mistakes too in training, but at the end of the day, when I can go into the shower and calm down a little bit, maybe because I lost another game in training, that's still the sign for me that I did something right, that I'm still have that hunger to win the games, and that when I'm exhausted, when I'm at home on the couch and the legs are a little bit tingling, you know, because I had a good workout. That's the thing that proves me that I did the right thing today and enough.
And are you seeing that within your teammates as well when you're, I don't know, if they're in,
Yeah, I mean, that's up to each and everyone by themselves, you know, like I see guys doing after training in the gym stuff, stretching, whatever, taking care of their bodies, and I do the same thing. So it's at the end of the day, it's up to themselves, you know. They're not training for me, they're not training for Bradley, they're not training for St. Louis City SC, they're training for themselves to get better. That's basically up to each and everyone by themselves.
And then I just wanted to ask you about Akil Watts, a guy who hasn't played much this year, and he got the chance last week, and it looked like he did pretty well. And how encouraging, or what do you take from them? You see a guy who hasn't gotten the chance, and when he gets that chance.
Yeah, I
takes
was very
advantage.
happy. I was very happy with Akil. I also talked to him after the game and told him like that he was very good. He did very good, especially after a long time not playing with us. He played in City too, and from what I heard, he did his job there also very good, and he took it very serious. That's important, and I think that was kind of a reward for him as well. And everybody knows that we can count on him once he's needed again.
Thank you, Roman. Thank you for joining us.
Hello. That's Spanish.
All right. All set? Tom, want to start us off?
Any secrets, Tom? Anything that I don't know?
Yeah, you'll want to listen to Roman when you're done. Though I like it, because this way we get you fresh, and it's
I'm always fresh.
well, you aren't. No, this is true. You won't be influenced by anything you said. John is now listening, saying, "Just ask a question."
Hey, John.
Hi, Brad.
2-game losing streak, which you haven't had a lot of, and now you got a Western Conference kind of. I mean, Seattle, a well-developed team, and you guys are right next to each other in the standings. You want to win every game, but how do you look at this game, the importance of this game?
Yeah, it's a game. It's a game with 3 points on the line. And for sure, you've spoken about all the pointers, what teams coming to town, where the point standings are, Again, that does not, I would hate that be an indicator if we're going to give everything or not. Everything should be on the line every single day, right? So, and for sure, there's moments of ebbs and flows through a season. And you get to mitigate through those, just as every other team has. If you look at the league, some teams are on a hot streak, some teams are on a streak that, they wouldn't like to be in. So again, we just focusing on our next game. It's a very respectable opponent. They did a complete roster turnaround last night in the Open Cup. So we expect their fullest, fittest, strongest team. And that's something that we gauge ourselves by every single time to see if we can keep up and keep on pushing and being competitive and turning City Park into this fortress that we know it is and become, and for 3 points.
What have you kind of worked on in practice this week to take advantage of those moments, when you get the moments, to be able to maximize them?
Exactly that. Maximizing those moments.
What does that look like? What does that entail? Just creating moments and
Yeah, you take scenarios out the game. It's we look at the game as a puzzle. Each scenario, represents a different puzzle, and how we can exploit that, and how we can be the benefactors of exploitation. Whether it's in transition both ways, whether it's in a possession phase, or clinical defending, defending our box, defending outside our box. Cutting supply. So we've gone through a lot of things this week, but not overthinking it, because that leads to then a chain of, a weird road where you create problems that were never there to begin with.
Hi, Coach. Something Roman talked about was maybe more physicality in duels, maybe being tougher in duels. Have you seen that in training this week?
Yeah, I don't think it's just about being physical. I think it's being one step ahead. If you're one step ahead and proactive in your thoughts, the way we like to defend is ball orientation, proactive forward defending, right? If we're one step ahead in our thoughts, then you sometimes don't even need the physicality part, right? If you're physical, it means you've lost the moment, and now you just have to, it's the battle of will and desire, which is also a character trait, which is also something that we need to put on the line, and 100%, right? We try and be proactive. We try and stop things before they happen. We try and create things before the other opponent can react and see them as well. So, again, it's just sharpness in the body and the mind as well.
Probably Pedro de la Vega just got back into playing for Seattle, played last week. And I know we talk about DPs a lot. I feel like we do that every week. But knowing he just got back and there is not much video of him, how do you prepare for a player like him?
Yeah, I mean, we can go back and look at former sort of games from previous teams and stuff like this. This is what we can do. What we can't do is know, what his pathway is and how many minutes and what have you. So we don't want to consume ourselves. We do a good job of whether it's the DP or whether it's, the number 6 that no one looks at, right? Not talking about Seattle. I'm just saying whether, in the way we approach games, we furnish the players with a complete package of what the tendencies are of these players, right? So, like I said, whether it's the DP or the right back that no one thinks about, right? So every opponent on our team, or every player on our team knows something about their opponent on their direct side. And whether if that happens to be him, then we'll account for that as well. So, yeah, we always like to play the best. Because that's a good gauge for us where we are in our development. And as you've seen every weekend, there's a lot of good players out there, which keeps on challenging us and makes us better.
Coach, in the interest of focusing on yourselves, it feels like since the very beginning of the season, there have been some injuries and some off-the-field issues that you guys have had to battle. Are you eager, now that it looks like everyone is healthy, to maybe find some momentum moving forward?
Yeah, sure. I mean, again, a strong, fully fit, healthy roster elevates training status and levels, intensity, quality, because something's on the line every single day. So we try and drive internal competition. We try and drive and, we obviously incentivize the winners in training every single day and what have you. So, once we get a full complement of a roster, and now it starts to look different, right? You can just feel the different energy. You can feel a different tension, positive tension in the air, that every play matters in training. And that's what I think Roman also speaks about, when he's sitting here behind here. So again, it's good things. I embrace this. We embrace this as a club. For sure, there's tough decisions. But as long as you're transparent and open, the players find a way to respect it. They don't agree with it, but they find a way to respect it.
Matt?
Coach, Seattle is obviously a possession-oriented team, but this year they've had issues in turning that possession into shot creating opportunities. Do you see anything that your club needs to do, changing their approach in high pressing, mid blocks, that can better take advantage of what Seattle?
Well, they have really good players, right? So, they have different components to their game and different elements, and something that we're trying to build into a bit of unpredictability. Like, is Rui Diaz dropping underneath? Is Morris running in behind? Is Manungu dribbling on the side? Like, you're trying to create, and that's something that they've done well with is to try and be a little bit less unpredictable in certain moments. So yeah, they're very dangerous because when you think you've got one thing sorted out, then transition with Morris will always hurt you every single day. So to mitigate these things, to be proactive, one step ahead as well in trying to stop them and stop their freedom and the creativity. The big game changer for me is Rusnak. He can dictate the pace of play, he can elevate the pace of play, and he knows exactly what pass is needed, right? So the link-up play through Rusnak is going to be very, very important, but this is something that, you don't need me to tell you. He's a very good player, as are a lot of their players on their roster, right? So, I mean, I know they have a suspension at left back, and we'll deal with that too. Whoever they decide to put on there. So yeah, they rested guys. We're expecting a fully fit, healthy, strong team coming against us.
Do you change any of your tactics based on a player like Nuhu not being available on left back? Does that seem like an area to target in a sense?
No, not particularly. I mean, we have our game plan, and we have different variables in the game to exploit space and time. So yeah, we'll continue to work on those things and try and exploit the things that made of. I think we've seen many good progressions this year. They haven't always turned out into goals, but we've had some successful moments in the final third, and we just continue to harp on that regardless of opponent.
Jen?
Hi, Coach. Just want to go back to your comment about the positive tension. There's always, when things are that competitive, it can tip. How do you keep the scales from tipping to the negative part that can?
Yeah, you don't want to fall into the tense moment. I think sometimes, as a leader, as a coach, as a senior teammate or member, if you jump in when the tensions are high, then it can boil over. Sometimes you need that pause to breathe, and usually, the endorphins settle down, and then you can approach it in a nice manner, right? So you sometimes have to bite your tongue for 5-10 seconds, and the moment passes, and then you could come through with the moment. Because if you jump straight in and try and solve something straight away when players are trying to sort out a situation, that usually is a recipe for disaster. So sometimes it's just a little pause moment to let the tension, it's just a momentary chemical exchange in your brain. Once that settles down, and then you can now come with a bit of make a bit of sense out of the situation. Yeah.
I don't see any online questions. We'll finish up with Tom.
So is there nobody on the injury report this week? Is everybody fully available?
Everyone seems to be fully available. Yeah.
Wow. You haven't had that in
yeah, it's a
probably all
good
year.
sign. Everyone's itching to play. Everyone's, chomping at the bit to get game minutes here, to be part of the roster, and we have a good group of guys. So yeah, again, ebbs and flows, but deep down at the core, at the foundation, we have a group of fantastic human beings, just trying to do their job as best they can.
Totland had 4 and he got his 1 yellow card subtracted. Durkin got his. You're down to Tim. You're looking forward to getting.
That doesn't interest me. I would rather make a key play, get the suspension, if it meant that we conceded a goal in that moment, right? So in the moment, a player should never think about, do I challenge or not, to just survive one more game. That's the wrong mentality to go by. So I don't even think that plays a role. Should never play a role.
You didn't see any of that from either Chris or Thomas?
Yeah, I can never fault those guys for trying or lack thereof. So yeah, never.
All right.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Gasparoni, any questions?
I'll see you in 3 minutes.
Oh, that's the next meeting I have to run to. All right. Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Thanks.